Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Let's talk about, of course, last night, a lot of people were tuned in to HBO for the first part of the two-part series, docu-series focusing on Michael Jackson, allegations of pedophilia. Man, social media was up in an uproar last night. They got mad with me even asking a question, are y'all gonna watch? Here is clips from the docuseries. Folks, part 2 premieres tonight with Oprah Winfrey sitting down with the accusers and the filmmaker Dan Reed immediately after to discuss how this has impacted their lives. She's even getting lots of criticism for saying it's time to essentially cancel Michael Jackson. Joining us right now is Taj Jackson. Taj is the nephew of Michael Jackson, also the son of Tito Jackson. So Taj, you're in the UK right now. Certainly welcome to Roland Martin Unfiltered. A lot of people are disturbed by what they heard in this documentary. Folks have said no grown man should have been sleeping with kids, should not have been around kids. And so how is the Jackson family dealing with this documentary and bringing up again the allegations that have been leveled against Michael Jackson, even though he was previously found not guilty?
It's been really hard. It's we don't feel like we have a platform, so I do appreciate you letting me do this. I feel like we're screaming to the wall in a way, and for me, it's really frustrating because I know Wade very well, and I know what he's doing. I know his agenda, and I see through it. Just like you can see people that and you see them on TV. I have a couple of friends on reality shows right now that I can't watch because I know they're acting. Well, that's what this felt like.
And there have been a number of people who say, first of all, that these gentlemen testified in Michael's trial, saying that he did not do these things. Now they say he did do these things.
As an adult. They testified as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, because
go ahead.
He made it sound like he testified. Yeah, he made it sound like he testified as a kid. He testified as a grown adult, claiming that he didn't know things were wrong at that point when not only the DA was after him, my uncle, but was trying to nail him on anything. He asked repeatedly, did Michael touch you here? Did Michael touch you there? And here's the thing. Wade Robson was the first defense witness on the stand. Do you think if my uncle molested him for 7 years, he'd put him on the stand as his first witness? I mean, that's the dumbest thing you could possibly do in front of all those sheriffs and all those people.
So you're saying
place he could be.
You're saying Wade was a witness for Michael Jackson and not the prosecution?
He was the first defense witness, the very first defense witness. Through all the cross-examination, he was very firm and very, very truthful. Now, because he got kicked out of Cirque du Soleil, he wanted to be the head choreographer for MJ1. He was praising him all the way up to that point. You can watch any clips from YouTube and whatever. The reason why we're mad is because it's a timeline thing. He's up there praising him. He's dancing behind Janet Jackson at the VMAs, talking about how inspirational Michael Jackson was. But then all of a sudden he doesn't get the MJ1 job, and then he starts writing a book about sexual abuse. So, that's not me saying that. That's fact. And he secretly writes it. No publisher would publish it. So then he tries to sue the estate under seal, and they say, no, we're not suing. You can't do that. And so he has to come public with it. So that's why we feel backstabbed, because I really honestly feel that if he would have got that MJ1 job, we would not be here.
You also, of course, have HBO saying that they were not going to acquiesce to the Jackson family. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference, they sent a letter to HBC-You blasting them for their decision as well. President Charles Steele also highly criticized them. Other people have said that this documentary is unfair because it is extremely one-sided. Were any members of the Jackson family given an opportunity to respond to the filmmakers?
No, and the director even said that. He said that would have interfered with his storytelling. He didn't even give Brett Barnes, who's mentioned in the movie, His name's smeared in the movie because it's implied that he replaced one of them as one of the kids. And Brett's a private citizen in Australia. He's actually looking into legal recourse right now. He sent a demand letter to both HBO and the production company, and they basically gave him the middle finger. So, that's what's not being reported, and so we're getting frustrated because there's an agenda in the media to make this. First of all, Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson's name comes up, it sells. But when Michael Jackson's names come up with child molestation, it sells even better because negativity sells.
And so when you look at this conversation that Oprah is going to have later with the two individuals and the filmmaker, also the stories in the magazine, has anyone from the family reached out to her to say, oh, what are you doing?
That's I think the hard thing about it. We were dealing with this as a family, and then you hear stories of how she's on David Geffen's boat watching this on her birthday. And it's really, Oprah was one of the first interviews when my uncle passed that my grandma and the kids allowed. Mm-hmm. And she didn't give us that same respect, and that's what's so frustrating. When you have a one-sided documentary, at least you can get the other side. And she didn't even want to do that. And me, I'm a sexual abuse victim myself, not from my uncle, but from another uncle on my mom's side. And so I have a great perspective. I've reached out to people, and no one wants to hear it. So it's very frustrating.
What is next? Obviously, the family, I believe, filed a $100 million lawsuit against these filmmakers. What do you do now? Because obviously, your uncle Michael is dead. He can't defend himself. Yeah. You have the estate there as well. And so it really is left to his surviving family members to carry his torch and defend his name and honor.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to say one thing. The family's not filing suit. We actually have no legal recourse.
Okay.
You can't defame the dead. You can't slander the dead. You can't libel the dead. It's the Jackson estate, which is of my uncle's kids. So we don't get anything. We don't get anything out of anything. I'm just protecting my uncle's name because I know who he was, and so that because I saw a couple articles that misrepresented that, and I think that's been going around, in that way, and so I wanted to kind of stop that now. Family's not getting anything out of this.
Last question, when you think about the future, when you think about legacy, when you think about what happens 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, are you and others afraid that when the name Michael Jackson is mentioned, folks will not say one of the greatest entertainers ever, the king of pop? They will say Michael Jackson, pedophile.
No, because I do believe that the truth will come out. I do. It might take longer than we expected, but the truth is out there, and it will come out. I mean, there's already people, coming out and basically spilling some tea on Wade, because Wade's not as innocent as he pretends to be.
Taj Jackson, we appreciate you joining us at Roland Martin Unfiltered. Thanks so much.
Roland, I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. All right. Go to our panel here. Avis Jones DeWeaver, leadership strategist, author of How Exceptional Black Women Lead. Also, Michael Brown, of course, Democratic analyst as well. I have not seen Leaving Neverland. I was in Selma this weekend. My multiple flight delays. I didn't get to my house until 3:30 this morning, so I have not seen it. Michael, you've seen it. Avis, have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Michael, I'll start with you then. You saw part one. You heard Taj Jackson. Your thoughts?
Well, my heart, clearly goes out to the family. No one should have to go through something like this without a level of fairness or a level playing field. Clearly, in America, people can do documentaries, but just seem to, if you look at the R. Kelly one, they had psychiatrists, they had other people giving other sides of the story. And this one is just absolutely one-sided. They literally just talked to the men and their families. That's it. That's all they talked to. So I thought there was a level of unfairness that accompanied this particular documentary. But clearly some of the facts in there were just awful. It was terrible. And I was sorry to hear that. I mean, most people, certainly in my age group.
Well, not some of the facts that were offered. some of the allegations that were offered.
Correct.
Because, again, Michael Jackson, Avis, was found not guilty when he went to court. Yes, you have the settlement with another gentleman, some $23 million as well, but a settlement is not an admission of guilt. What do you make, though, when you hear the Jackson family and then you see Oprah's involvement in the interviews in the old magazine, and then you have people who are saying, oh, absolutely, I'm going to stop listening to his music, he's a pedophile?
You know, I do feel for the family because it does seem easy. It's easy to defame someone who's dead, to bring up allegations and form a sort of one-sided argument against someone who cannot defend themselves. Once again, I have not seen the documentary, but to me, if you're on a fact-finding mission, you would look to see both sides of the story and let the viewer be able to determine what makes sense, what sounds factual to you. If, on the other hand, you are presenting information only in a one-sided way, that to me suggests that there is an agenda there. And particularly with what we just learned in terms of what may be some sort of motivations behind a sort of change in attitude around this issue following employment problems or not getting a key job. You know, maybe that's some sort of motivation. I don't know, but it is sort of disturbing to me that there was not any care, it sounds like, putting into creating a more well-rounded presentation so that we could have some more confidence that we are really finding out facts rather than watching some sort of specific character assassination. I
want to go to Eugene Craig, who's joining us via Skype, Republican Strategies. Eugene, you've seen both parts of the documentary. I want to get your initial take on what you saw.
Yeah, I wasted 4 hours of my life watching both of those, both parts of it. It's a completely one-sided documentary. It has the likeness of a 4-hour smear ad campaign, essentially. I don't understand how you can go on a fact-finding mission or be concerned about telling a story and not tell complete parts of the story. I mean, one thing that's been consistent in every single legitimate or story with legitimate allegations of child molestation when it comes to celebrities is that there's always a defector from the camp. I mean, they had not one person from the Jackson camp that could, verify that some of these things happened. So it was a horrible documentary. I can't believe HBO wasted their airtime with it. I can't believe HBO put themselves at liability with it. There's a reason why, publishers went and touched the book. There's a reason why, most other companies went and touched this particular documentary. And the thing is, and the interesting thing about it is that this, Wade was willing to sell his access essentially to Michael Jackson, and the time he spent Michael Jackson, leveraging it to become an NSYNC's choreographer and Britney Spears' choreographer. And then as Todd said, the second he didn't get the job with MJ1, now we have this situation here. But I watched both parts of the documentary. It's, 4 hours wasted of my time.
Got it.
And shame on Oprah. I think there should be a conversation about canceling Michael Jackson. There should be a conversation about canceling Oprah Winfrey.
I want to ask you all about this.
For the sit-down discussion she's going to be leading later tonight.
I'm going to ask you this here. Mitchell sent this tweet out. Other people did as well. Michael, here we go to my iPad. Michael Jackson was under FBI surveillance for well over a decade. You don't see it. I don't understand why, but I'll try to replug it up. How about now? Do you see it? Okay, I'll just go ahead and read it. I'm not sure why it's not showing up. Okay. Michael Jackson was under FBI surveillance for well over a decade. They found nothing to substantiate claims of child abuse. He was also fully exonerated following his 2005 trial. Leaving Neverland fails to highlight these facts, and MJ is no longer here to defend himself. Now, what's also interesting is he sent this tweet. He said, last month, Elvis Presley received an all-star tribute to his life and career on NBC, all while his history of drugging and sleeping with underage girls was well known. Avis, your thoughts on those two? Especially the Elvis one.
Well, once again.
You know how white folks feel about Elvis?
Lord have mercy, for real. Don't do nothing about Elvis. Don't say nothing bad about Elvis. I'm not surprised, and that's true. I mean, when he met his wife, she was, 14 or 13? Something? So, yeah, we know about that. And they don't care. They're very selective when it comes to those types of things. But I did not know about this, decade-long FBI surveillance. I mean, to me, that is a very important fact. That's a key fact that suggests that if there was anything, because we all remember that time. We remember that time when there was a lot of pressure on Michael Jackson. If he was under FBI surveillance, trust and believe, if there was something there to be found, they would have moved on it. It's my belief.
Michael?
And it would have leaked.
Yeah.
And that was the first I've heard that. I didn't even know. What year was that, Roland? When was that?
That was, first of all, in 2009, the FBI released their Michael Jackson FBI file. Folks, if you actually go to actually, let me pull it up right here. Here we go to my iPad. If you go to vault.fbi.gov, you will actually see the FBI files there on Michael Jackson. And so you'll see what they have here. And I'm going to read this here. Michael Jackson, 1958 to 2009, was a famous singer and entertainer. Between 1993 and 1994, and separately between 2004 and 2005, Jackson was investigated by California law enforcement agencies for possible child molestation. He was acquitted of all such charges. The FBI provided technical and investigative assistance to these agencies during the cases. The Bureau also investigated threats made against Mr. Jackson and others by an individual who was later in prison for these crimes. These investigations occurred between 1992 and 2005. So folks, when they say 10 years, they clearly they're talking about the threats, but they were involved in the previous terms of those two cases. Now, I'm going to pull up something here because Vanity Fair did a story where they said that that there were fingerprints that were found on pornographic material in Michael Jackson's bedroom, where his fingerprints and the fingerprints of children were right next to each other on these magazines. Michael, then Eugene.
Well, and then back to that second tweet related to Elvis. Yeah, absolutely. All the rumors and fact about him dating and marrying underage girls and taking them across state line, but also about all the music from African Americans that he stole. Yeah. So, I mean, there's several pieces that just makes this whole thing unfair when you're talking about music icons. But clearly, we still live in America.
Eugene?
Yeah, the thing is this, right? Part of the investigations with threats made about Michael Jackson was him having to allow the FBI to some degree into his life.
Also, let me say this here. Also, the documents, I'll tell you my Radar Online, they have absolutely horrible credibility on anything that they report. They get more stuff wrong than I've ever seen in my life. Eugene, go ahead.
And so the thing is this, right? So you have two FBI investigations, and particularly with this particular case, you have a gentleman who, I think if we're having discussions about law enforcement, he should be, if he's going in this documentary and saying that he, essentially perjured himself not once but twice, bring perjury charges up, send him to jail. Send him to jail. Let him get in the stand and say, yeah, I perjured myself, and then present evidence to support that. But the thing is this, Oprah should be shaming herself for giving these two a platform, because the issue is this. The documentary by itself is illegitimate.
Got it.
Her lending her name to the story starts to legitimize it.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, beginning of the year, of course, I participated in the Dherbs full body cleanse, and of course, it was about losing some weight. It's about getting healthier. I got to get my golf game, because, see, I got to take more of Michael's money. And so for a lot of us, we lose weight for various reasons. We want to feel better. We want to look better. But at the end of the day, it also comes down to your health. Dherbs full body cleanse is a way for you to do that, a way for you to actually cleanse your body, remove the toxic stuff, all the bad stuff that you've been eating. It's about, again, basically restarting and also changing yourself mentally in terms of how you approach eating the foods that you want to eat, whether it's fresh fruits and whether it's vegetables, whether it's water, things along those lines. And so we want you to participate in that if you want to, and we appreciate them being a partner with us. And so you can go to Dherbs.com, and that is, you can try the full body cleanse. They have 27 different cleanses. So I did the 20-day cleanse. I previously did the 10-day cleanse. And so you can try the different ones. You can go to Dherbs.com, use the promo code Roland to get a discount when you check out. You can also, though, call 866-4DHERBS, 866-4DHERBS. Now, it's been 5 or 6 weeks since I finished it, but how it changed my thinking in terms of what I ate, when I ate, and how I ate also is critically important. So go to Dherbs.com or call 866-4DHERBS. Don't forget to use the promo code Roland if you want to get that discount. And so again, we thank Dherbs for being a partner of the show. And also, this is a black-owned company. Remember that, okay? Brother who started this, CEO, he's a brother. And so we also want to support Black-owned businesses. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.